Welcome to Pure Hustle Podcast. I'm Mike.
And this is Orlando, and we're on episode 113.
Nope.
No, 114. How? I looked at this before I said it.
It's just because you haven't messed up in like 2 episodes, so you were way overdue. You were like 2 episodes overdue.
There you go. There you go. It's not Pure Hustle Podcast unless Orlando messes up the episode number.
And I'm also sure that you're just amazed that we've made it to 114 episodes.
Yes, I am. And the fact that some of you have listened since day one. You think about. Anyways, we're not going to go into it. All right. So this is our update episode, and this is one of your faves, and this is one of my faves too. And the only reason I'm not looking forward to this one is because I didn't meet what I said I was going to do last time, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. All right. So Mike, what's going on? Let's do an update. What's going on with you?
Man, things are pretty good. I've been getting a lot of listings done. Been doing some sourcing, testing out some different methods of arbitrage, and one of the big things we've been doing is like redecorating our fifth wheel. I know that doesn't seem reselling related.
You move from different arbitrage to redecorating.
Yeah, because like realistically, like the fifth wheel is such a big part like of the reselling world for me right now, because it's what's allowed us to kind of let my wife do it full time and a lot of the things we're doing. So anyways, we bought this fifth wheel and we've been part of me wants to say slowly, but it hasn't been super slowly. My wife has just been kind of looking at stuff and saying like, this looks like a fifth wheel. We need to rip out this table and put in like a regular table and get rid of these lights and put in regular lights and get rid of these wall pieces and put in like curtains. And so we've been doing a lot of stuff around the house, and it's starting to look more and more like an actual normal home, which is kind of nice to have. But
interesting.
But yeah, so for those of you who don't know, that I moved from like a regular San Diego condo into a fifth wheel so that we could do this reselling thing, man. And it's really opened up some doors, and it's been fun. And yeah, so I'm so amazed with how my life has turned out from this point. Like I didn't expect it to be this awesome, like that this reselling would do all of this. And every day I wake up and I'm happy with where I'm at in my life right now. So for those of you who are, debating on doing something big, I mean, everybody's story is going to be different, but reselling has definitely opened up a lot of doors for us to do some crazy things and just take life a different way.
Now, when you said different, I don't know how much you want to share, but when you say sourcing differently, what do you mean?
Okay, so you want me to get back to like the legitimate resale stuff?
I think that was related. I mean, think about it. If we never did the podcast, I really don't think you'd be in a fifth wheel right now.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. So it is reselling related, but I'm just interested. I'd like to know what you mean by that.
Well, I'll talk about that a little bit when I get to my random stories, like specifically how it worked out. But there's a couple niches that I'm trying to kind of break into that I don't want to necessarily talk about because I don't want to like
expose it all.
Yeah. But
actually, Mike's gonna have his own BOLO group.
Yeah, it's only $99.99, and just no, I'm just kidding. But anyways,
lifetime membership.
Oh, no, that's monthly because the stuff I'm dropping is just, it's too lit.
It's daily.
Yeah.
Lit.
So I'm doing a lot of like, I'm trying to do more like Facebook Marketplace.
Okay.
So I was trying some Craigslist and things like that, but Facebook Marketplace has been really good. And one thing I'm noticing is like you can oftentimes get some great deals on things that even have been posted for a while. So there's a few different niches that I've been kind of alternating through, and I'll like kind of spam a certain keyword search for like a week, and then like until I've cleaned out all the things I feel like I can get, and then I'll move on to another one that I've got, and then stuff will have built up. So I'm sure I'm missing things like as soon as they drop the day of, but it's tough unless you're like on a computer all the time and you're just hawking out like as soon as people drop stuff or have certain alerts set. I guess what's encouraging from it is you can still like maybe once a week or once in the evening, look up the keywords you're looking for, the items you're looking for, and you'll find stuff that's been out there for a couple weeks, and there's still some really good deals. You just have to deal with the driving to it and picking it up, which isn't always fun. But
it's funny you mentioned that because I'm kind of like, I'm hearing you share that, and I'm kind of like, maybe you shouldn't share that. You know what I mean? But it's out there. Like people know about it. I mean, if you're on Facebook, you know about Marketplace, right? It's been pushed enough, but it's interesting hearing you say that because, you were very big on thrift stores and like now it seems like you're kind of, I don't know if this is the right word, but evolving like in your reselling?
No, I still think thrift stores and garage sales are where, one, my love is, and two, where I'm making probably most of my profit.
Okay.
But the nice thing is I can't always get to thrift stores. Like even now I live like 45 minutes away from my work. So that's an hour and a half commute every day.
Yeah.
Right. And so even just a quick 15-minute stop into a thrift store just almost doesn't happen anymore on my way home. Like I'll go on the weekends, but like by the time I'm getting home, it's already dinner time. I've already been gone for so long. So one of the ways I'm still able to kind of stay somewhat, I don't even want to say competitive because that's not the right word, but to stay active in reselling is on like a 10-minute break. I can just jump on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, search for a few items and occasionally find something, set up a meetup, and then I'm not necessarily wasting time, right? Because that's 10 minutes I was going to sit in my classroom and drink a coffee anyways because I'm on break, so I can look stuff up. So it's almost like I'm able to walk into thrift stores, but I'm not walking into thrift stores. But if I were to have the choice, I'd walk into thrift stores every time because there's nothing worse than like, just searching and searching and searching on the internet, not finding anything.
But I had an experience with Facebook Marketplace last week, and I'm using it more on the seller side. And I did something different. And I'm not saying this is the way to do it, but I kind of like the way I handled this. I wanted to share. And it sounded really arrogant. But anyways, so I sold a major piece of equipment that would have weighed a lot to ship. And I didn't want to ship it. And I thought I'd throw it out there. And I think I shared this equipment with you. And I shared the story with you. So I don't want to share too much because I'm working on certain niches right now. I know we're being pure hustle private.
We are super vague right now.
We are.
Super unhelpful. Listen to this podcast.
But
buy stuff, sell it. You'll make a lot of money.
We've always been about, hey, getting you there, right? Helping you do things, right? Teaching you. Well, we don't teach, but you know what I mean. Learning through our mistakes. So I actually did this Facebook transaction in front of a bank. Some people talk about doing it in front of, a police station or at a Starbucks. So this is why I did a bank. So bear with me here. One, there's cameras outside of banks. Right. And usually they're always working. The ATM camera, the camera at the door, usually there's a security guard, which doesn't mean that guy's going to risk his life to protect your Facebook Marketplace sale, but they're there, right? And they're usually strapped. And then there's always people going in and out, right? If it's in the daytime. So I'm like, I'm going to pick this place. And the other reason is because this was going to require a lot of bills. I thought, what if I get the bank to certify that the bills are legit?
Yeah, you mentioned that on the last podcast. Not the last one, but the one before that you went in and had them check.
Oh, I did. Okay, sorry.
But here's the thing. I still think that, maybe people have different opinions.
But I'm doing it more, and it's been good.
I think that's so weird, man. I think it's so weird. I think you'd be better off paying the $5 or $10 to buy a bill checker on Amazon and just pull it out of your pocket. I'm not saying don't do it in front of a bank, but like to bring somebody in, the inconvenience to have them go in with you and then stand in line and put the money in front of a teller, like that's just bizarre to me.
I don't know, but listen, if people want to make a deal, you got to jump through the hoops that I put out.
Yeah, but are those like unnecessary hoops though? Like when you could just like wipe it with one of the pins, like why make them potentially wait an extra 10 minutes and go inside with you and they're like,
it wasn't 10 minutes, but I see your point. I like it. I like it because one, I feel safe, and not that things can't happen outside of a bank. Two, I feel safe about the money I'm getting because the easiest bills to be counterfeited are 20s. Those are the most counterfeited bills. And three, it kind of gives us security. The other person felt safe too, right? Because if you look at me, like if you're listening to podcasts, if you watch me on YouTube, like if you didn't know me and you didn't know I was this kind of like funny, I'm saying funny, but like I like to have a good time kind of guy, you'd be like, who is this dude that's showing up? Like randomly opening his trunk and he's trying to sell me something from his trunk. Like, that could put off some people. I'm just saying.
Yeah. And so instead you say, come with me into this building. I want to make you stand here and talk with me. Look, pull it up on Amazon right now. You can get a 5-pack of counterfeit pins for fake money. $7.97. That probably lasts you a lifetime.
That is true. Okay. Anyways, let me know your comments below. I'd like to know what people think.
Yeah. If I was just saying, like, if I were to go to, because I'm on the other end of that, right? Like, I'm buying stuff on Facebook Marketplace all the time. If I were to meet someone and they're like, hey, let's meet at a bank, I'd be like, all right. And what should be just a quick transaction, I would not be offended at all if they check my money. But if they're like, come inside the building with me, I'd be like, are you kidding me right now? Don't you think?
I don't know. Well, obviously I don't. Obviously I think differently than you on this one. So, all right. Anyways, comments below. All right. Anything else you'd like to share? Are we good with that one?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, there you go.
So let's talk about the fails. Now I got some random story fails, but I didn't hit my 2K listings. I don't know why I even said that. So I'm at like 1,800 something. I mentioned I wanted to be at 2K by the next update episode, but I have a good problem. Things kept selling. And then I was too busy sourcing a lot of great stuff. And it was a reminder. It's kind of nice. I haven't been to thrift stores in a long, like there was a period of time in Q4 where I didn't go to thrift stores at all. And I haven't been to a garage sale in it's probably been 2 months. And so I went up to LA and, I met up with Hugo and Tiffany. So quick, ship quick. They're going to laugh because this is their, consistent mention of them in every single podcast that we do. So every update episode, at least.
Yeah. How much are they paying us for advertisement?
Anyways, check them out. So quick, ship quick. All right. So go to LA and I go to this thrift store and a lot of this we share on Instagram. If you're not following us on Instagram, you should, unless you like surprises on the podcast, but you should follow us because we share a lot of other stuff. And I go in and I would say 2 months ago, that's a big time difference. 2 months ago, I walk in there and they had all these vintage Reebok pumps. If you know anything about Reebok pumps from the 90s, you remember those shoes? Okay. Those can sell for $100 to $200 if they're brand new with tags. So 2 months ago, this store was trying to sell them for $150. And I remember going in there and actually trying to negotiate. Obviously, I didn't read Never Split the Difference. Check up our Level Up review. Maybe I would have negotiated better. But, they didn't budge on price. I show up. They're $20 on a table. So I'm like, what is going on here? Like, are these fake? Is there something not right with these? I check them all out. No, they're authentic. They're good to go, $20 a piece. And it reminded me of the fact that, number one, not everyone knows everything, right? So if you see a reseller in a store, it doesn't mean that store has been cleaned out. I would say when it comes to RA even, you can make that argument because not everybody has scanned or picks up the same items. Number two, it doesn't matter when you show up to a store. So I had 2 instances. The first time was in LA at the store. I showed up to the store an hour after opening. So I'm like, oh man, all the good stuff is gone. Probably all the disciplined resellers showed up right when it opened. And sure enough, I picked up these shoes. I was only able to pick up 5, but for $20 a piece. And I'm probably going to, net $100 on each of them. Right? This was middle of the day. The other day, I show up at another thrift store. And I'm there. I wanted to get there right at 9. Our store, not the store here, but the store.
The store that we go to,
yeah,
the Honey Hole, that you'll never know about.
Some of you know that, follow us, that are local. So that store is like Black Friday every time they open their doors.
It's true,
right? People are like shoving in, and there's a reason why. So I'm like, I'm 20 minutes late. I'm like, oh no, like am I gonna waste my time here? It was seriously my biggest thrifting day of the year. Now the year's only been in so long.
Yeah, we're a few weeks in.
But I would say the biggest thrifting probably in the last year and a half.
Nice. Or 2 weeks.
No, last year.
Because you started with like last year. Well, 2 months ago.
Okay,
so
well, no. It's
since our time frames are like,
okay, anyways.
Like 5 years ago, or maybe it was last week. I don't know. But
all right, from 2019, beginning of 2019 till now, because I go and people aren't picking up certain shoes. Like I find Mephisto shoes, I find Doc Martens, I find all kinds of these different brands in there. I'm like, why is no one picking these up? And not only that, there were Merrell items, $5, and it was 50% off. $2.50. When is the last time you picked up something for $2.50 that were a pair of shoes in San Diego?
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often.
No. So
garage sales sometimes.
Yeah, garage sales. So I'm picking up these shoes. My cart is stacked with shoes. I haven't even hit hard goods. I go to hard goods. I find Bose speakers. I find there was this other thing that it's called the Aeroside. It's kind of like think of like a Dyson. Remember those bladeless Dysons?
Yep.
It's kind of like that, but it was like an air purifier or something. It didn't work. But anyways, it was there. Probably maybe could have picked it up, sold it for parts. Now that I'm thinking about it. Oh, well. I mean, there was all these goods. Then I go over to the jackets. All these jackets that people haven't picked up. I go over to now shirts. There was a Harley new with tag shirt that no one touched. I'm like, this is a reminder to me that number one, there's plenty out there still. Plenty out there. Number two, yes, thrift store prices have, gone up. And we did have an episode where we said we were done with thrift stores. Obviously, that was a little clickbaity. But even then, thrift stores do not get it all right. Right? They miss a lot. And then number three is you just never know when things are going to be put out. You just never know. So I spent at that store that day, I think it was around $300 something. I'm probably going to make $2,000 on everything net. Now it's going to take time, right? That's the other thing I realized too. I forgot, I've been doing so much Amazon that I forgot that on eBay, it takes a little bit longer to make money, but man, the ROI you get on stuff, it's totally worth it. So that's kind of like my update. So based on that, I have probably over 100 items from that store. I have another 100 or so items that I sourced when I was in LA. So I should hit that 2K. Plus my helper is back. My helper, by the way, Mike, my helper is back. She's on it. Like I dropped those stuff off Tuesday, within a week, all ready to go, listed. So I'm excited about finally hitting that 2K and seeing where that takes me on eBay. Now I have other plans with eBay, but I'm going to wait till we do our themed Q4 episode till not that I need to announce. No one cares, but I'm kind of changing things up a little bit. So that's my update.
I like it.
All right. Random stories, Mike. What do you
got? So this one goes back to one of the Facebook Marketplace arbitrage things that I did. So I found some items that I wanted to buy from this guy that I thought I might be able to flip. And it was really tough because he lotted a whole bunch of things. His ad didn't even have like everything listed, but it was like a certain number of these specific items I was looking for and different versions of them. And so I'm trying to just look at pictures to see like, am I going to be able to make money off of this? And I could kind of tell based off the price. I didn't even negotiate or haggle with him price. I was like, okay, like I'm going to make decent amount of profit if I buy these items. And then I get there and he's got all the items. I've actually brought in some bags so I can carry everything out. And he's like, all right, yeah. And he even asked me, he's like, are you a reseller? Or are these for you? And I was like, a little bit of both. Like, I'll probably keep some, probably resell some. He's like, oh, that's cool. And he goes, oh, and like, I know these are totally like off topic or like they don't really connect. But like I had these other things laying around my house. So I decided to just throw them in too.
What?
And I'm like,
it's so random.
It was weird. I was expecting him to maybe say like, hey, do you want to buy this stuff too? But he like just grabbed it and put it in the pile. I was like, so I'm just going to throw this stuff in here too. Like I know it doesn't really connect at all. And it didn't. Like, just like imagine the things that I'm buying are books and the thing he gave me were like electronics. Like that's how different these things were that he threw in. Okay. And so I'm like, okay. And I'm looking at, and the stuff that he throws in. So he throws in a Dragon Dictate like software with like the headphones, right? Okay. And it's used, but it's got the serial number and stuff. Yeah. And even use this version, I could probably sell for like 30, 40 bucks, right? He throws in a wireless keyboard, which, it's kind of cool. I mean, not just wireless, but like a Bluetooth one, which, I mean, there's been a few times when I've been like, it'd be kind of cool to have a Bluetooth keyboard. Like, I don't know, maybe I'll sell it. I don't know. And this is like the kicker. So I have what's called a Raspberry Pi. Have you ever heard of a Raspberry Pi before?
No.
Okay, so Raspberry Pi is a computer about the size of like a credit card.
I have, right?
Yeah. And you can use them for all kinds of stuff. Like you could use it like as like a home entertainment system. Like people use them to make robots, all that kind of stuff. Anyways, I have mine to emulate certain video games, and it's cool to run as an emulator. But the thing is, you have to have different remotes for it, and I have never bought a remote for it. So I've never used it as an emulator. I've just used it as like a home media system. And I've been meaning to buy a remote for it, like an old Nintendo, like USB remote. And I have never got one though. They're only like 14 or 15 bucks on Amazon, but it's just one of those things where it's like, it'd be fun to have it, but I don't really need it. So I've never really bought it. But like, I'd say at least once a month, I'm like just scrolling through Amazon. I'm like, oh, I should buy one of those. And I'll put it in the cart. I'm like, nah, I don't really need it. He threw one in.
It's crazy.
Like the exact one I've been looking at buying. He's like, yeah, I know it doesn't really connect to any of this stuff, but like you could just have this too. And I'm like, what the? So not only did the stuff he threw in pretty much pay for what I bought, because I only spent like 60 bucks just off the stuff he threw in, I could probably make like 50 bucks off of. But I'm going to keep that remote. And now I have the remote that I've been meaning to buy and I just never had. Like I probably would have never bought it, but now I have it. and it works great. And it's like, how random, like for someone to, like, you would imagine if someone's going to throw random stuff in, knowing my luck, it'd be like, here's a used candle and here's like some cat litter and stuff I don't need, you know? But like, this was like something I've been wanting. So I was like, this is so bizarre. Thanks, bro. Have a good one.
But that's how local deals are. I can't I remember, it reminds me of a story. I don't know if I shared this one, where I picked up an HP financial calculator. We talked about those HP calculators that they go for money. So I saw one on OfferUp and they were selling it for like 80. And I think, it was like 40 to 60 and I could flip it for like 200. It's been a while. I show up and I just asked the question like, hey, you have anything else? Or like, oh yeah, I got this and I got that. And I remember walking out with a brand new Cricut machine that I flipped for 300. And I think she's like, it's been sitting for a while, $20. Like again, this is going to be, the title of this episode is going to be something about local deals, because now I'm like, I need to get back to that.
Yeah.
Because I've had over and over again, I remember picking up an Apple iPod, vintage, sealed for like $20 and flipping it for 100. So, wow, that's awesome that happened to you.
It was like it was like the thing I wanted. So it wasn't even just like something I could resell for more money, but like just something I've needed that I probably would have never bought for myself. But here it is. Now I have it. And like if you were to give me like a list of like 10 things that would be cool to get that you want, but like you'll never probably buy for yourself, that probably would have been on the list. And there it is. Like I just have it now. And so it's kind of cool. And I forgot to mention too, they haven't come in yet, but kind of going back to like update, I finally designed and ordered the like business cards for myself as a reseller, right? Because we have our Pure Hustle Podcast business cards, but like I'm not going to hand somebody a Pure Hustle Podcast business card if I'm trying to make a contact. No. Not just because it would be weird, because they could get a hold of me that way, but I don't want you to steal my contacts. I know you would never steal my contact, but you know what I mean? Like,
okay, I didn't know Mike was going to go down that road, but all right. I see how it is. Kidding. It's always been like that since day one. It's okay. We're good.
But now so next time at a place like that, like, yeah, you could just hand them, hey, if you ever have anything else you want to sell, give me a call, like hit me up, send me a message, whatever. And it's so easy now. Like you don't even have to use your real phone number. It's just get a Google number. Right? Like set up a Google number and you can have it on your phone. I'm sure Apple's do it too, but at least my phone for sure has it. Like Google Voice is an app, and you can have it set up where when you get text messages and phone calls to that Google number, it just goes straight, it forwards it to your regular phone number. So you can answer the text and the phone calls on your phone, but they don't have your phone number. So you can turn that off. You know what I mean? Like it's just such a cool free program. So you can get business cards, make up a business, make up whatever your reselling business is called, get an email address, get a Google number, and hand out business cards. I'm super excited to try it because I have a feeling, man, if I just lay them out, just like boom, 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 take one. You take a business card for you, give me a call. Like if I give out 100 of them, I'm sure at least 1 or 2 people will call me back.
You should listen to the podcast back in the day. And when I would tell Mike, you should share that you're a reseller. And now Mike's talking about giving away his card like candy.
Business card for you, get a business card. You get 5 business cards, just give them out. But like there are times when I think it's not a good idea to share. And
here we go.
Here's an example.
The retraction.
And I almost bought it today, but I didn't want to deal with the, I just don't have space and I don't want to sell locally very much. But there was a twin stroller. So a stroller that's like side by side.
Yeah, like a Bob stroller kind of deal.
Yeah, but not Bob. So it was like another brand, but 4 twins. So like the exact same, like side by side. And the lady wasn't asking very much for it. I heard her like debating with somebody else or negotiating with somebody else. And I'm thinking, oh, I should just swoop in and buy that. And I could probably talk her down even more from where she's at. But I'm thinking if I came in and told her I was a reseller, she probably wouldn't give me the same deal she's about to give this lady who looks like she's buying it for her kids. You know what I mean? So if I'm like, I'm not saying that this is necessarily the right thing to do.
Your children when you show up.
If you don't have to say you're doing it, but if you're implying like, oh man, like this is like the perfect size for my son. You know what I mean? Like
you could also frame the question, go, hey, I'm a reseller, but I'd really love to get this to the right home that somebody would need it. And I could be that middleman and, let me buy, let's work on a price and I'll make sure it goes to a good home. I've done that before and it's worked.
Yeah.
You're like, no.
I don't know. I mean, you're probably right. But like, I do think there's times when them thinking that that you're the good home is probably better for you. But it definitely has worked to my advantage to tell people I've been a reseller recently.
Okay,
So
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Hey, he never even showed me the cards. That's how protective Mike is of his contacts.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I'm secretive. I'm like a Secret spy.
No, but we got to go sourcing. We haven't done a sourcing video in a while.
That's true.
So we probably need to go sourcing sometime. We'll go to a place where there'll be plenty for both of us. All right.
Let's hope we can find a place like that because I'm greedy.
All right. So actually, my stories aren't as good and positive as yours. So I just wanted to share this because I always like sharing my fails so you can learn and not do the same thing. So first thing, if you're on Instagram, you caught this. So I go when I'm in LA, I source this Lego. Now, this was a Lego like Batman and Wonder Woman and other characters. It was a Duplo. And, Duplo, I generally don't think it goes for a lot of money. Well, this one, if you had it complete, you could sell it for $80 to $100 used. If you had it all sealed and everything, it was over $100. So I pick it up at the store that shall not be named for $6. And, if you caught us on the live, you know what I'm talking about. But we only had like 50 people on the live, so I'm going to share this because I don't think everybody watched it. So I thought it'd be really cool to do an unboxing of this Lego box, right? Live on Instagram. So in this Lego box, if I paid $6, if I just found the Wonder Woman with the motorcycle sealed, I could sell that for $30 and I'd be making a profit.
Nice.
Right? It was just, and I didn't think about, I've never done Duplo. I've sold Legos galore, but not a Duplo. So I'm really excited. I go to, we go live on Instagram. I'm doing the unboxing with Hugo and Tiffany, and I open it and I see pink blocks. Like, these pink blocks don't go with the kit. So I'm like, all right, let's see what else is in here. I pull out more. Oh no, these aren't even Duplos. These are Mega Blocks.
Nice.
Like, and the resale value.
I made money on Mega Blocks.
Yeah, but
sure, it was like 50 pounds, but
it's not the same.
It's not.
Like, not at all. So I end up opening this whole thing. I got scammed by the store that shall not be named. Now, some of you are going to call me out right now and said, Orlando, why didn't you open the box at the store? Because it was already open. It was sealed by their employees. Okay, it was for the gram. All right, I just wanted...
You did it for the gram.
I did it for the gram. I just wanted to see. I wanted to do a reveal, and sure enough, I lost. But there's a good part to the story. So somebody on Instagram contacted me, and I'm gonna shout her out. So Clara, and her IG is the.nerdy.mom, contacted me. She posted this on Instagram, so I'm sure I'm okay sharing this. And she said, hey, I got that at a yard sale for my kids, and they're playing with it. It's time for me to get it back. And so,
oh, man.
So she goes and she starts looking, and she's like, hey, I found this. Hey, I found the Wonder Woman. I can't find the motorcycle. And she's like, unfortunately, I don't have the box. So I'm like, I got a box.
Yeah.
So I shipped her the box. She has a box now. She's looking for like one more piece. She's going to go on eBay and purchase it. And she's going to put it all together and see if she can flip it.
Sometimes you got to piece it out, man.
So we should make that a hustle of the week if it happens, because we contributed to the hustle of the week. But it was kind of, again, this is why I always say sharing on social media, as long as you share the right stuff, and we've had episodes on that, can help, right? I posted this on Instagram. The ROI, I'm not going to get my money back, but the ROI of knowing that I helped somebody else make money, definitely worth it to me.
Here's the thing, you're totally fair with that right now. Like, you feel like that's a fair thing, but imagine going back to, if you didn't listen to our last episode from Never Split the Difference, if you were to find out she made $1 million off that sale, you might be like, I want my cut.
I'll be real. Yeah, it's true. It's very true. It's very true. But you hear stories about Good Samaritans. Like, I think the latest story is somebody bought or got a used couch from somebody, and they found like $43,000 inside the couch that the grandfather was like hiding away, and he'd returned it all. I don't know if I would.
Hey, maybe he was like me when we found all that money in our mailbox at our mail place. We thought maybe it was drug money. But, give him the money back. Well, okay. Don't come after me. Don't kill me.
But if you didn't think it was drug money, would you have given it back?
I mean, somebody's going to miss $43,000.
Yeah, I know. But
it was in the couch. Who did I sell that couch to? They're dead.
I know. Wow, worst case scenario. All right. So that's story number one. Story number two is, so I sold one of my Q4 hot items after Q4, and I already had shipped the stuff into the Amazon warehouse. Well, I forgot to delete it from my merchant fulfilled inventory. So it's sold on merchant fulfilled. Great. I didn't even have it. Now, if you know anything about merchant fulfilled on Amazon, If you don't sell a lot of it and you get a ding, it's going to hurt your metrics. And you get even to the place where like one thing can cause you to almost be suspended. So I'm trying to figure out a solution. And, you know, I'm in LA when this happened. I'm talking to Sell Quick Ship Quick. And, you know, I came to the conclusion that I should drop ship this. Hey, people drop ship all the time. So I buy it off of Amazon to drop ship to somebody on, you know, that bought it from me through Amazon. So I'm like, this will get through Prime. I'll send it as a gift. No problem. From the very beginning, I had a problem. The first one is, and again, I'm sure I'll get called out, but I didn't know that, you know, and I knew, but I didn't know that Amazon uses its own carrier. Like Amazon is a carrier. So I can't put Amazon tracking because it's not going to show them that. Like if you bought it, it'll show you the tracking, but it's not going to show like if it was a USPS tracking number and I put that on, you know, when I shipped it, they could track it through the USPS. So this company had no way. Now I got lucky because this was a business, at least for now. I might come up with an update that I got slammed for this. So then I'm waiting, I'm looking, I'm like, okay, it'll arrive. It's going to arrive early. Sweet. I'll be good. No. Doesn't arrive. I see the message. Expected late delivery. We apologize about this. No. I'm like, oh no.
Hey, but it's Amazon's system. They should have to, like, if anything, they should be the ones that gets the negative ding on it.
Okay, yeah. Well, you think, and then 2 days later, they're like, oh, it didn't arrive today. Expected tomorrow. I'm like, oh, this is getting tricky. Next day shows up. Unfortunately, we've lost a package. You can refund it or get a replacement. And, you know, whatever, you're welcome to keep the item. I'm like, what? Like, did this just happen?
This is what you get for drop shipping.
Okay. But I'm like, what? Like, seriously, of all the times, the one time I try to drop ship, this happens. So I went to the buyer and I refunded. I'm just like, unfortunately, based on the tracking, it seems your package got lost. You're welcome to keep it. Here's a full refund. Now, I think what played to my favor is that it's a business and they're not going to take it as personal unless it was somebody using a business account, right, to get it to them. So stay tuned. And here's the funny thing. The same item that I just sold on FBA, guess what? I got a return on it. And you know what it said? Did not meet fulfillment process. Promise. And so you know what that means? They lost my inventory of the same item.
So they just don't know how to ship that item.
I don't know what's going on. So potentially in one day, I lost close to $200 based on those two items. Anyways, so
that happens, man.
My question is, so if Amazon goes, hey, the buyer says they never got the package, and I say, well, you guys lost it, are they going to ding me
for drop shipping on their program?
Yeah. Or can I go, hey, shouldn't your metrics be hurt too? Like, anyways, that's not going to happen. That's not going to work at all.
That'll work. I'm sure they'll take that. They'll love that. That'll be good.
Well, anyways,
they'll love that.
That is
do it.
That is my random stories.
I like it.
All right, current topics.
Current topics.
Before we do that, though, let's talk about Instagram real quick. So if you haven't had a chance yet, on social media, we are Pure Hustle Podcast on Instagram, on Facebook, and on TikTok. And thank you all of you that have jumped over from TikTok to Instagram, or you've been listening to the podcast. And to all our loyal Facebook followers, I want to let you know I appreciate all of you. Thank you for your patience when we reply sometimes to comments 2 weeks after the fact. We're sorry about that. We're trying to keep up on all these platforms right now, but it's getting kind of tough right now. But it's a good thing because that means we're growing. And on Twitter, we're Pure Hustle Podcast. Hey, no, we're Pure Hustle Cast on Twitter. We're going to be at 650. We might be at 700 by the time this podcast. Like, Twitter's growing.
It's good.
So, and also, is there anywhere else people are following us? Hey, if you haven't had a chance yet, subscribe to us on YouTube. Hit that bell notification if you'd like to see what's going on. If you'd like to see any updates on our background, you're welcome to do that.
Yeah.
And then you're always welcome to give us a call, 619-738-1170. That's 619-738-1170. Or shoot us an email at purehustlepodcast@gmail.com. That is purehustlepodcast@gmail.com. There's also a link if you want to say thank you in a monetary way. We always appreciate any donations. They help us, like, spruce up the studio or get new swag or, try to make an investments like our white mug private label that we're still figuring if a way that we can economically sell it without losing money on it? Because right now we'd lose money if we try to sell it.
Yeah, and I wouldn't sell this. We're still gonna work on like a really nice campfire mug that you guys would really appreciate and love. You know, that is what you guys deserve, and we will give you nothing less than what you deserve.
Now, we still may go down the route that, you know, people can just support us because they love the podcast, and we may give away a mug as part of that giveaway.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, PBS gives away a duffel bag. Why can't PHP give away a mug?
Yeah, be part of our partner program and just partner with us because you love us, and we'll show our love back by giving you a gift for your continuing donation of any amount, at least $5. Well, no, I'm just kidding. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Content 100% free. All right. And reviews. Thank you for all the reviews. They're awesome. Just appreciate that. All right. Are you ready for reseller topics?
That's right. It's that time for our reseller current events. Things are heating up out there. What do you got for us?
I feel like I'm going to go, all right, Mike, from whatever, tell us what's going on. All right. So the first thing is, you know, we mentioned a while back how Kohl's was allowing returns. Amazon returned to the store and they're hoping for foot traffic.
Yep.
You know how that went?
I'm assuming not super good.
Terrible. Like Kohl's, I guess it didn't work out. So it was something that they were pushing. And in the end, they actually had lower like returns, lower money, like return on investment. Like they didn't make more money. They actually had a poor producing Q4.
Yeah, people came in just to return and didn't buy stuff. Like the whole foot traffic thing didn't work out. And if you think about it, people who are shopping a lot on Amazon, you know, they're probably not that impressed walking into a store and seeing like, ooh, like any of this stuff in here I could buy, right? Because like Amazon is like literally buy anything in the whole world, right? So, I mean, there is still something like people are more likely to buy something from your store if they're in there, because if they don't come in, they're not going to buy anything from your store. But I could see why people would just show up. Like, I just need to drop it off really quick. I mean, just like, you know, when AT&T has you know, return your router at the UPS or FedEx or however they do that. Like chances are you're walking in just to do that and you're not like, well, I'm here. I might as well buy some boxes and ship a package to, you know what I mean? Like people are just going in and they're doing it.
But it's wild because, and let me read here real quick. It says, this is from the Motley Fool. Despite analysts expecting only tepid sales growth for Kohl's for the Christmas season, the retailer wasn't even able to make it over the low hurdle. Comparable store sales fell for the November to December holiday shopping period.
Now, here's the hard part, though, is there is no test, like a control group to say, like, how would Kohl's have done without Amazon returns, right? So, like, yeah, this didn't.
No, that's true.
So, like, maybe it did help them. Maybe it helped them significantly, but because they didn't reach like a certain metric, they're like, oh, well, it didn't help us. But would Kohl's have looked worse without? Is this just the nature of a lot of... It's very possible
it would have been worse.
Yeah. So is this just the nature of a lot of retail businesses? Because, I mean, there are certain retailers, brick and mortar stores that are always going to do well and that are doing a really good job of competing. I mean, I think Target, Walmart, you know, there's some places that are still doing pretty good. But, you know, like Kohl's, I don't know. I know there's some loyal Kohl's fans, but like they don't seem like...
See, when I posted this on Instagram... Everybody that said they love Kohl's were resellers that said they love sourcing at Kohl's.
Yeah, like...
But everybody else who went there to shop for themselves said it was terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I know a couple of people who like Kohl's because they do like the Kohl's bucks where like they give you like free money basically to buy stuff. And people are like, yeah, they basically pay me to shop there. And I'm like, that's not a good sign. Like if a place has to do all kinds of stuff to get you in the door, I mean, marketing is good, but like your products and pricing should like speak for itself. Like you should want to be there. Like if they always have to do like gimmicks to get you in the door, it's almost like, I feel like a car lot where they're like, and we have a circus, and if we have a scratcher, come in and you might get a free key to try it in a car. Like, I don't know, like when you have to use gimmicks to get people in the door, like it just tells me maybe it's just, you're not competitive in the market. And I don't know if like Kohl's, it might just not be 2020, might not be the year for Kohl's.
But I think that overall, I think we keep sharing these stories. It's going to be interesting when we're doing the podcast 10 years from now. All right, we'll still be here, PHP. It'd be interesting. We would have several thousand episodes by then. How cool would that be?
Would it be several thousand? That's intense, man.
Well, think about it. We've
100 a year.
100 a year. So by 10, okay. couple of thousand. Well, or maybe we ramp it. Maybe this is a daily thing by that time.
Yeah.
You know, we got to a place where
welcome to the PHP Daily Show.
Yeah, there you go. Gary V went weekly. We're gonna go daily. Just change it up. So all right. Anyways, so it's funny because they said, not funny. While geolocation surveys suggest more customers have come to Kohl's stores following the program's rollout, the sales results make it obvious they've purchased very little, if anything. I'm like, wow. Like, whew. Okay. So what does this say? It says that e-commerce is still moving with great momentum. And it's not just business. One of the things I've seen lately on YouTube and on social media, sustainability is a very big deal right now.
Yeah, and honestly though, I think there's sometimes unfair like metrics people give when they talk about sustainability. Because like when you talk about brick and mortar, like the cost, the overhead of a brick and mortar, well, realistically, you can, if you're not looking at all of the numbers fairly, you could say like they have a bigger footprint or they have a bigger, whatever. And I know you're talking specifically about like secondhand market, right? But like we're talking a lot of e-commerce, like secondhand market on e-commerce is significantly lower than like new, like Amazon, brand new attack type stuff, right? Is quite a bit higher. And like, yeah, if you look at it though, like there still has to be warehouses, there have to be drivers, there have to be like the total like impact on the economy as a whole is probably pretty equivalent. Now, things shift, right? Like there might be fewer people working cash registers, but there's more people working coding on computers, right? So it's going to kind of be the same. It's just a shift in technology, and that technology shift, I mean, yeah, part of it will be the sustainability issue of people wanting to buy secondhand stuff, which makes platforms like eBay do better, especially as younger generations are coming up. And that's kind of cool and trendy, at least for now.
It's super trendy right now. We're on TikTok and people are talking about thrift stores to just shop, not to resell, which to me, growing up, like you didn't go to the thrift store, right? I mean, maybe I was just weird. Maybe we were like bougie, but I mean, we weren't. And the thrift store was kind of like, and I've shared this before, like I always thought it was gross. And now it's like cool. Like, how weird is that?
Super cool, man.
Super cool.
It's hipster, it's trendy.
The other interesting thing, and it's not related to anything I have written anywhere, but I've seen people on Instagram talk about that brands are going to seek to protect their brands even more. And so that might affect the secondhand market. I don't know. We'll have to see how that plays out. You know what I mean? Like people are worried about not just counterfeits, but maybe certain brands are going to be like, no, we can only resell our own brand. I don't know. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, that'd be a difficult thing to do. I mean, I've had stuff.
Oh, I agree.
I've had stuff where like eBay's had me take down a listing because somebody put on a complaint against it, and it's like, man, I bought this thing. I should be able to sell it. Like I own it. Like, but yeah, I mean, I could see why companies would want to do that. I mean, you've had that with Amazon for sure with things.
Oh yeah, but it's only been new item. I've never had it. I've had it only happen like we're talking about viral listings. So viral listings, if you're new to eBay, are when something gets zeroed, it's a company says, hey, that's our product. No one else should be allowed to sell it. And they'll pull your listing. And so, but I haven't, trying to think, the only time I got viral listed was on a vintage hat from a surf shop in San Diego.
Yeah, but you've talked about like before, like, what was it? Something like a dog, like a pet product?
Oh yeah, but that was on Amazon. That was a new item.
Yeah.
A new item. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I thought it was interesting. All right. Next, FedEx is coming back to Amazon.
Yay.
No, it's okay. I know you don't do a lot of Amazon, but okay. Have you noticed the eBay rates for FedEx? It's outstanding.
Yeah.
So eBay was able to broker a better deal on FedEx than they had in 2019.
That's good.
So I'll give you an example. I just shipped out this huge device that weighed about 50 pounds, and it was about 22 by 19 by 22 or something like that. And if I did it through the post office, even if I did parcel, it was parcel. Help me out here, Mike. Parcel. I don't know if I don't know what just happened. Anyways, parcel.
If you ship it parcel, you gotta say it like that.
So it was gonna be $80. I go to FedEx, $40.
Nice.
That's beautiful. So I'm team FedEx when it comes to, because UPS is good, but UPS depends. Sometimes like it's a little more pricey than FedEx, and UPS does have that 25% discount with PayPal. Anyway, saying all that, So Amazon lifted the ban on FedEx Ground, and I guess the ban happened because they weren't liking how long, like, I guess FedEx times weren't working out. Like things were being delivered late. And so I haven't seen it myself. I sent out a few orders, I don't know, 3-4 days ago. Maybe it would, the option for FedEx was there. I didn't see it there. But, this could be a good thing. So just keep an eye, because this is kind of now, it doesn't mean that Amazon's making business with FedEx necessarily like they were before. But remember, FedEx was cheaper than UPS. And I felt that FedEx was easier because while I love the UPS store I go to, like I'm friends with everyone there and they're awesome, those stores, they close around 6 and FedEx is open later. So you're able to drop off stuff later. So that's why I like FedEx.
Yeah, that's nice for sure.
So, all right. I got more drop shipping stuff to talk about.
What you got?
Okay. So do you remember whenever any social media platform hits, like all the people are trying to take advantage of the organic reach.
Right.
Right. Like, and usually it brings in, I would say, all the scammy people like right away. So those of you that follow us on TikTok, like you would probably agree with us that the number one e-commerce thing being sold right now is drop shipping. Like on Instagram, you see it now. We're not opposed to drop shipping, but there are some shady aspects to drop shipping, just as there's some shady aspects to Amazon FBA. There's some shady aspects of people selling fake stuff on eBay. So please understand, we're not trying to label all drop shipping as bad. But I feel right now, and I feel like since we have kind of an audience and we have a younger audience that's coming on board too now, that, being real about drop shipping. Because drop shipping could be valuable. I personally have not experienced that with the people I know that drop shipped.
Yeah. And honestly, I think it's like you mentioned it, like you said, like specifically with like new social medias, but I think drop shipping is a good example of like the type of thing you see even on any kind of social media or any type of advertising, where when there's a lot of people pushing it to advertise something, I don't want to always say it's a scam, because some things aren't, and there's some people who drop ship legitimately and it's not scammy. But anytime you see somebody like, I could teach you how to do this, and it's just like,
it's so easy this course, from buy home. This program. Yeah.
And I remember even as a kid, like I'd watch these things with like, you can buy houses, like, and it's like infomercials, right? Like, yeah. And it almost takes you back to like the infomercial days where people would like sell like ideas and how you can make a ton of money. And yeah, like there was some like, all you've got to do is send in like $199 and we'll give you the whole, like the thing that teach you how to buy. Like you can literally buy houses, pennies on the dollar. Like I bought this house for $2,000 and I was able to sell for $300,000. You can do this too. All you have to do is send in $199. And I remember just thinking, like, if that's a legitimate thing, why would they care about getting $199 when they can just keep buying these houses, mm-hmm. right? Like, so a lot of times those people, if their source of income is you giving them a little bit of money because this thing is so easy that you can just autopilot and you're making tons of money, it's probably a lie, right? Because if it was that easy and it could just keep expanding and it's autopilot, they would just keep expanding and they wouldn't care about your $20 or your little service fee, right? Like, so you kind of have to look at it. If something seems too easy and someone just promises you, give me $10 and I'll teach you how to make $1 million. It's super easy. Well, if they know how to do that, like, why do they care about the $10? So I just think you got to be careful. And I think drop shipping, like Orlando was saying, is a good example of that, where you're seeing a lot of people who are promoting it, where all you have to do is pay a little bit of money and you'll be able to bring in, you'll be on the beach just like me. And the hard part is, I feel like it gives all resellers a bad name. Mm-hmm. Don't you? Like,
yeah. Well, so anytime anybody sells a dream without showing what it takes to get to that dream in a very authentic way, yeah, it does. Because we've always said it. Like, there are people I know that do really well on FBA. I'm telling you, there are. It's very doable, but it wasn't like they just got on there. And again, maybe we don't know the right people. I always say that. Because I do understand people that are wealthy are only in certain circles, and maybe we're not in those circles. But it's not as easy as it seems for the most part. So with all that being said, so it's kind of interesting because Zach Rosa, as on Instagram, he made a video on TikTok, and he's from San Diego too. And it was kind of interesting. I just wanted to shout that out because he made a video where you could like alter like how many products you're selling, and it changes how much money you make. You know, when people show like how much I've made, I'm like, that's crazy. Like, I didn't know that. Because you look at dropshipping numbers and it's like $100,000 or 2 million. I'm like, if you could really alter numbers like that, like that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So so let's say it's legitimate. Let's say it's real. Right. And again, I've had experience. I'll share 3 of them real quick. One is our close friend who did dropshipping with football jerseys. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
You don't know? I thought we talked about this. So we had a friend that at one point found a way to, find football jerseys from China. I don't know if they're authentic or not. It doesn't matter. But was selling them.
I'm going to say probably not.
Okay. But was buying them super cheap. And so somebody would buy them on eBay. He'd buy them from there. Right? That's how dropshipping works. You buy it from a third party and then you get the third party to ship it. Mm-hmm. Right? Well, his account got destroyed because the shipping took like 2 weeks. Yeah. And he got all this negative feedback and like he made a lot of money. But this is why people have stealth accounts. Yep. Right? Because if you buy out a legitimate account from someone and it's not tied to you at all, well, it doesn't matter if that account gets destroyed. You just get another account. You keep moving.
People buy accounts?
Uh-huh. Yeah, we haven't talked about stealth accounts in here yet. It's a whole nother world.
That's crazy.
Now, I'm not saying that everybody that buys stealth accounts is being shady. There's other reasons to use stealth accounts. Like maybe you have a different niche you're opening up, or maybe...
But couldn't you just open your own account? Like, why would you buy an account from somebody else?
Because you want to make sure that your feedback's all good, and if anything goes bad, you want to be able to walk away from it. I hear what you're saying. You're right, 99.99%. Yes.
Okay.
Usually, anyways, I don't want to get into this. But stealth accounts, stealth accounts. I don't have any. If in case you're wondering,
how's your stealth account going?
I have no stealth accounts. I have the only account that we have. Hey, by the way,
it's actually a new niche that we're involved in at Piros Podcast. If you'd like to buy your stealth accounts from us, we've got just for easy $9.99 payment, we'll be able to send you a lesson, teach you how to make millions, and it'll come with the stealth account.
We're gonna lose all the followers that have stealth accounts. We know that we have followers and listeners, so that's why I'm being careful because I know some are for legitimate reasons. By the way, speaking of legitimate reasons, we're on the eBay for Business podcast.
What?
Right? And
we were yesterday.
It dropped yesterday, but if you haven't gotten a chance, check us out. eBay for Business podcast, worth talking about thrifting.
Actually, we think we were on yesterday. We're actually recording this before it airs, so we're assuming it's actually going to air.
No, it is. It is going to air.
Well, I mean, anything can happen. Technical difficulties, right?
Okay, but Tuesday, January 21, it's supposed to drop.
Yes.
So that is. So check us out. Pure Podcast on eBay for Business podcast.
Whoop, whoop.
All right. So where was I going with this? Okay. So let's say it's legitimate. Let's say you do. So here's some things you need to think about. And I take this from an article about, what was it titled? Dropshipping, why it won't help you build a multi-million-dollar online store. This was put out by some business to community page. Anyways, I thought that had some great points I just wanted to share. If you're considering dropshipping, because we're here to help you out. So when you dropship, okay, remember, if you sell a product that you didn't, you don't really know what the product looks like. You have no control, right? So for instance, my experience, I talked about the item that I drop shipped. I expected Amazon to come through, and Amazon didn't come through. So you are at the mercy of that third party. Number 2, margins are slim. Okay, right? To be competitive in a drop ship, right? You may be able to sell it for maybe $5, $10 more. From everyone that I've talked about, there's somebody that had contacted me and said, "Hey, Orlando, I used to do drop shipping. I spent thousands on advertising, on Facebook advertising, so people could click on my ad. And on top of that, the margins were slim. So I would have a graph that would say I made $100,000, but I only made $10,000, which monthly, it's not bad. 120K net, not bad. Okay, maybe we should drop ship.
Yeah. I'm now officially a drop shipper. Okay, right. If I can make $10,000 a month.
Okay, but the other thing is, we know other drop shippers that it's a lot of work. You have to be on top of all of it. Now, there are drop ship companies that have software that make it easier for you, right? To take care of all that process. Because, you have to message people, hey, send it as a gift. Don't put anything in the package, blah, 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 blah. So there's that. And then let me share this example here. So they talk about, that some drop shippers, they make most of their money on courses like you talked about. They don't make money on dropshipping. So this is what this page shared. They said, for example, online training program Dropship Lifestyles courses priced from $1,297 to $4,997. I wonder if they never split the difference about
a specific price.
Yeah, if you haven't checked that out in our level up review, we talk about this, how Chris Voss says don't use, rounded numbers. Use just specific numbers. Specific. Yeah. All right. So the latter includes a ticket to dropshipping retreat in Bali. Well, that sounds nice. That promises to teach people how to gain freedom through entrepreneurship by starting a business that provides real value to your customers, to your bank account. The program was founded in 2012 by Anton Cradley, who set up his first e-commerce store in 2007 for a $29 investment, made over $1 million in sales in his second year in business. But Crawley is the exception, not the rule. One dropshipper interviewed on Reply All revealed she had only had 2 sales in a year. Another said he lost so much money through dropshipping that he wound up sleeping on someone's couch because he couldn't afford to pay his rent. And yet today, he's peddling his own online dropshipping course, which pulled in $28,000 in his first month of existence. Good for you. Like,
is that good for you?
I guess so. I mean, you made it happen.
No. That's the worst. That's to me.
I am messing around. I'm messing around.
That's the worst because, like, I mean, it's one thing to teach. Like, I'm not against people teaching courses. Like, I'm definitely willing to pay money to learn from people who are experienced, that have knowledge, that understand what they're doing, to mentor me, whatever it is. But like, can you imagine paying for a course from somebody to mentor you and come to find out that they're a complete failure in that field and don't know anything about it?
Is that why
the way they make their
and
the way they make their money is by mentoring people on what they don't know how to do? Like,
that's terrible. Just terrible.
That's so awful. That's really awful.
Anyways, we just thought we're Pre-Roll Podcast. We care about you all, and we just wanted to be real about what we know about dropshipping. And if we're wrong, comment below.
Yeah. No, again, like I said, I'm sure I'm positive they're really diligent hustlers that are out there crushing it on dropshipping. They're doing it the right way. They're successful at it.
With their self accounts.
Maybe. I don't know how that works, but I'm just saying, but just like anything else, you're probably getting more people who are selling a dream. And so you got to be careful with where you're learning from that kind of stuff, because if somebody's source of income is to teach you how to do something, and they are not actually making money doing the thing that they are teaching, right? Like, you just got to be careful.
100%. 100%. I mean, even our podcast, if you ever go, I really wonder if what they're doing is real, it's all good. Like,
yeah, I mean, that's why what we do with the podcast, like, we're making money reselling, but there's weeks when I'm like, even on the podcast, I'll say like, man, didn't really list that much this week, because we try to be real, because it's hard work. It's a hustle. There's definitely money that can be made. There's many of our listeners who make 10 times what we make, because they're out there working harder. They've gotten into better niches, whatever the situation is. But man, I hope you never feel like we're trying to sell a dream here, because it's tough work, but it's doable.
But that's why we document on social media, because we don't want to just, we can make up stories on the podcast. If we never document on social media, I could be like, oh, I had this hustle a week. But this is why I very much push the IG stories, because, and not so much on YouTube, because I want to let you know, like, I'm showing this for free because I want you to understand, like, this is reality. Like, this is actually happening. So anyways, just throwing our social out there.
Yeah. So now that we've patted ourselves on the back, what's next?
All right. So eBay glitches.
Ooh.
Okay. Okay. Before we go down that road, I first want to talk about, hey, I think they're fixing the item specifics, because I've checked my listings and I haven't fixed anything, and a lot of them are fixed. So hats off to you, eBay.
Thank you.
But what's going on, man?
Man, the last couple of days, we have not been able to get listings done. Like, we've had full days where like the app doesn't work. So then we like uninstall it, reinstall it. It works for like 2 minutes and it stops working again. It's been rough.
So again, I've said this
and it's
before.
Been slow. Like, our sales have been low. So I don't know if it's part of it. Like,
that is the hard part, because we don't know why sales are slow, right? But if glitches happen, your mind goes there. Like, because I saw people on Instagram saying that they couldn't, like, buyers were contacting them that they couldn't check out and pay for the items. And I'm like, oh, that would be super frustrating. Now, you have to understand, I think people are on different servers, because I didn't experience, like, the glitches you experienced, I didn't experience. right? But I know plenty of people did because plenty of you DM'd us and said, Orlando, are you experiencing this? Like I can't, like the app, I guess the app was done.
Yeah, it wasn't working at all for us.
Yeah, and for me, it was totally fine. So I'm sure people are probably on different servers or something to that effect. But, eBay for listening, we really would love it if you just had somebody out on social media and just explain, hey, this is what's happening, this is what's going on. Because the worst is when you go all day and you hear nothing, and then you begin to get just frustrated. Like, and again, if this was full time, which it was for me, but I'm on other platforms, I'm on Amazon, so I don't worry and I didn't see it that much. But I just think about like if things were to go like that for 5 days straight, that could hurt.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if maybe because of the restructuring, it's going to take a little bit longer for eBay to, get glitches resolved. I know glitches will always be a part, but it just seems that like they just aren't going away. Like if you think about our podcast a year ago, and we did go through kind of a glitch gate. That's true. We did when the first podcast first dropped. But man, I would love like, how about no more seller updates, like until everything gets resolved. Is that a crazy idea? Oh, that's a sweet business card, Mike.
Yeah, I just pulled up my business card to show Orlando.
That is legit. Good for you. Okay, let me go back to asking you. I like that. All right, the question: do you think that would be a good thing? No seller updates until things get fixed, or do you think that I'm pie in the sky?
Well, here's the thing though. Like, you're imagining that the things they have to fix are the only things that need to be updated, right?
Oh,
like,
that's true. That's very true.
So you can't say we're not going to improve area X and Y in our company because area B needs to be fixed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you can do two things at one time, right? So I do think they can do seller updates and fix things without putting on hold the fact that like our priority needs to be fixing stuff currently that's broken. Like there's different departments that are all working on different stuff. So
okay, I just wanted to hear another opinion. So, but hey, eBay, you're still our bae. We're on the podcast because we love eBay. But I just hope all this goes away. But I will tell you, out of all the platforms, it's even through the glitches, sales have been great this January. Like super awesome. I'm probably gonna make more in January on eBay than I made in November and December combined.
That's weird. I only had like the first week of January on eBay was like fire. And then it's like dropped off. But then we've also been experiencing issues with our app. So I don't know.
We don't know. But that is our reseller topics.
Yeah.
We're going to play that new sound one more time? Is that what you're waiting for?
We only play it once.
All right. But it is time for another sound.
All right. So, Bellow, what do you got for us?
I was waiting for you to talk.
Oh, you wanted me to go first?
Yeah, because I think I talked a lot in this last reseller topics.
Yeah. I'm just kidding. So, this one, I try not to be too vague or give too like kind of just generic things everybody knows. But today I picked up some Smallville DVD series, right? Like, and here's the thing. You find DVDs all the time. In fact, I have a friend who's like, hey, you should help me sell a bunch of DVDs. I got like 400 DVDs. And DVDs are tough because there's just not a lot of money there. Like they don't sell for very much. It barely covers the shipping. You'd have to be selling in bulk, right? And so even with TV series, sometimes you're like, oh man, like sometimes I find like one of my favorite shows when I was younger was 24. And it's like, 24 season 1 and 2 unopened. This has got to be worth like a ton of money. And you look it up and they sell for like $5 and you're like, man, what, like, this is unbelievable. Like, I can't believe how cheap this stuff goes. New stuff obviously still sells for a lot. Like if you're buying like a new series of like Game of Thrones or something like that, like those still sell for a lot. But like older shows, they just don't sell for very much. But here's what I've noticed. And maybe many of you have noticed this too. But if you can lot the entire series, season 1 through 10 or season 1 through 8 or whatever it is together, even if they're used, the money's there.
Agreed.
Not for everything, not for all shows, but for a show where, and this is, I'm not saying like necessarily this would be like retail arbitrage or eBay arbitrage, but like you go into, oftentimes I go into a thrift store and I can buy like the whole series of whatever show, Smallville, 24, whatever, Friends, season 1 for like a couple bucks. There's just not money in selling it. Like I would probably lose money if I sold that season. But if I can collect all however many seasons and lot them together and sell them all as one, there might be 70, 80 bucks in there, right? And so if you're talking like 10 seasons, you paid $2 a season and you're able to sell it for 80 bucks. Well, now all of a sudden there's money. And so a lot of times you can buy complete sets like this at garage sales, or maybe you're only missing a few. And so it can almost become like a collection thing, right? Like where if you're smart enough to organize, and I don't know if I am to always organize this, but I've even thought about this with books, right? Like just the Harry Potter book itself, Harry Potter 1, not a lot of money in, but if you can find a whole set, all of the books together.
Yeah, people do that. We know somebody very close to us that does that.
So if you are at garage sales, thrift stores, don't turn a blind eye to like the one-offs, because if you're able to like keep track, you might have like, I have 6 Harry Potter 1s, I've got 3 Harry Potter 2s, I've got 8. And so you just kind of keep them separate. And as you collect full sets, then you lot it and you sell it, right? And the same works for DVDs. So the reason it's a BOLO is because so many people look at it and they don't see money in the individual one, that they're missing the ability to start slowly collecting sets or to collect a set all at once and then lot and sell them together. So that's my BOLO.
Yeah, no, that's a great BOLO. And I'll tell you, one of the key things you can look at is if it's streaming. If it's streaming on Netflix, Hulu, or Disney Plus. What else is there? Am I missing one?
That's the main ones.
Netflix. I think I already said that. But if it's streaming, that's where the value goes down. That's why 24 isn't worth anything right now.
Yep. But Friends, and this might be too big of a BOLO, but Friends is like no longer on Netflix, or it's not going to be.
It's funny. I just checked it because I just found a bunch of Friends brand new sealed.
And you didn't pick them up?
I did. I picked them up.
Oh, okay.
I sold them on Amazon. I'm ungated on DVDs, but it's funny because I'm now going, maybe I should have held out on those, right? Because I was sad. The other day I was going through Friends and it was gone.
Yep.
And I'm like, all right, well.
Actually, that's kind of the deal. And maybe Seinfeld is going to be the next one, because I think Netflix is getting Seinfeld. But shows that like might not be super popular for people to watch, like to be buying DVDs, come onto streaming services for a time. People get hooked. And then when they go away, it's like, wait a minute, I can't get my Friends fix or my Seinfeld fix or whatever it is. And so that's the time when having the series might be worth it.
Yeah. So check it out. I mean, I made good money on a Law and Order series. Like I showed this on Instagram, but I think I paid $4 and I bought, I forget, I think it was like 8 seasons in total, and I made $250.
Nice.
So it was good. So yeah, that's a nice BOLO.
Thank you. What you got for me?
Great. You come out with like this very practical, helpful BOLO, and here's Orlando with. Okay. So you notice I keep talking.
Let me guess. I'm not going to guess. Because I saw it.
Let's hear it. Oh, you saw it already. Okay.
Yeah. But like, this is what I would have guessed. So.
All right. Oh, okay. You can't do that. All right. So this is what I'm noticing. We are like, I thought this 80s, 90s trend was like going to go like slowly dissipate. It's only getting bigger. I'll give you one example. So right now, like unfortunately we're on TikTok, and I'm noticing like the look of guys with dangling earrings is coming back. Right? I don't know if you see that at your school, but so do you remember the show Family Ties? Are you too young to remember that show? With Justin Bateman, I think it was, and Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it on reruns.
Okay, so there's this guy Nick. He's like, "Hey yo," and like he had this dangling earring, like and the big poofy hair. Like that looks coming back, which means 80s is still like gaining popularity.
Oh yeah, I mean, kids at my school were doing girls wearing the scrunchies and boys taking the girls' scrunchies.
Yeah.
Boys will take the scrunchies and wear them if it's like the sign of like, I like this girl, right? Like scrunchies.
Yeah, that's the whole Visco thing, which is still popular. So what I'm noticing is that bright colors, the most vague, but bright colors are selling well. And as long as, if they're, so I've sold a bunch of bright colored Nike, like bright pink, bright green, bright aqua, bright whatever. Like, you remember 80s and 90s? Like those were like the colors. Like they're fire right now. And I right now am picking up stuff that doesn't even have comps that are those bright colors. And I'm like, I think this will sell, and it's selling. So keep an eye on that. bright colors. Actually, I did an Instagram post and, it didn't get that many likes, which I don't, I just want to provide value. I'm not concerned about likes, but I really think we're missing out because I think what we're shifting in is that brands still do matter, but you have to remember that looks also matter. Like certain fashion trends matter, right? And so if you're able to combine both, right? If you're able to find a bright pink Guess pair of jeans, if they're out there, or a bright pink, I don't know if Bugle Boy is the term, but Bugle Boy hasn't come back. You remember Bugle Boy? Okay, you're too young. Bugle Boy was a thing. Not saying that it was popular. It's just something we all, some of us had to wear back in the 80s and 90s. Okay, but if you like, the other day I was watching, I shared this on Instagram. I thought this was funny. So, do you remember the movie Teen Wolf? With Michael J. Fox. Yep. So I watched it just because I was getting nostalgic because those are the kind of movies I loved when I was a kid. And then I decided to watch Teen Wolf 2. And I just thought it was terrible. I mean, they did a good job of bringing boxing, being a werewolf, and being a scientist all together.
Yeah, which is, a combination that's very difficult to bring together. But, people have a desire to see those three things brought together on a frequent basis. So,
but I posted this on Instagram because in this movie, there were bolos. Like Stetson hat was in the closet. Bateman was wearing a Sherpa line Levi's jacket, which are hot right now. There was an old school North Face backpack on the ground. Like,
yeah. So if you wanna know what to go into a thrift store and buy, put on Saved by the Bell. Put on some old 80s and 90s. I'm serious.
No, I'm being real. Like, yes.
Yeah.
Like the stuff, like I've watched even Seinfeld episodes. I'm like, that's hot right now. Mm-hmm. Like people are buying that stuff. So anyways, the Bolo is 80s and 90s trending gear, pretty much bright.
How about like a cashmere sweater?
I don't know about
Remember that episode from Seinfeld? Had the mark on it.
Yeah. That he got on super discount for Elaine. And then we actually talked about that already on the podcast where she was all good with it until she found out that he got it for super cheap because it had a stain on it.
Yep. And give it to somebody else.
Yes.
She was happy with it.
That was a hilarious episode. Yeah, anyway, so that is my Bolo. Do with it what you will. I thought it was a helpful Bolo.
Yeah, 80s and 90s stuff.
That's bright and that's trendy and you can maybe see in the very classic movies from back in the day.
Yeah. So Orlando's Bolo is stuff that sells well.
All right. Okay, let's move on. What are you looking forward to, Mike?
So gosh, it's tough because we usually try and say like what we're looking forward to for like this upcoming week, right? And I don't want to say reselling is going to have to slow down a little bit because I'll be back in time for like garage sales and the weekend and stuff. But probably actually at the time that this is playing right now, I'll be at 6th grade camp. I'm a middle school teacher now, so it's weird to go from high school to middle school. I like it a whole lot more than I thought I would. I thought I was gonna go into middle school and just kind of be like, I'll just do it for a year or two. But I really, really am enjoying it. So this is going to be my first time going to any camp, like as like a group. Like I've gone camping, and this is obviously my first time going to like specifically 6th grade camp. So what I'm looking forward to with that is I'm going to miss my wife. I'm going to miss my son. I'm going to miss, all of that. But
Orlando.
I'll miss you too. But what I think I'm kind of excited for is kind of being forced to disconnect, like we've talked about in previous episodes, where I'm not going to be able to just go crazy and work like 10x like all the time, like because it's exhausting. And there's times where you kind of feel bad, like you get a day off, but you're like, there's so many things to do. But it's going to kind of be nice to be like, well, there's really nothing I can do. I don't even have a car where I can like go and do some more work. It's like I drove a bus up here. Like, there's nowhere for me to go. There's nothing for me to do. I don't have cell signal. Like I'm just going to take a nap or read a book. And so I'm kind of looking forward to a little bit of that. And then when I come back, it's going to be like some family time and then garage sales. So, and I'll be excited for it. Not just like, oh, I'm so exhausted. I guess I have to wake up.
I want to hear your perspective because I had that happen to me. It wasn't by choice and it was miserable.
It might be.
So did I share the story about when I ended up at Catalina Island and it was a senior trip, but we ended up on the Boy Scout part.
Oh yeah, you did mention.
And like, there was nothing. I mean, and there were kids that were wealthy that were like, I'm going to have my parents fly in a helicopter and fly me out of here. Like it was bad, but hopefully you have a great time.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Okay. All right.
What about you? What are you looking forward to?
Same thing from last time. So I want to
try to take over the world.
I want to.
That's a different podcast.
I want to get to 2,000 listings. I think that's going to be the sweet spot to go along with my plan that I have planned out for February, March, and April. I want to give eBay the same kind of love I gave Amazon at Q4 and see what happens. I want to see the results. And so my helper right now has been on top of things and what? And then I did it again, but anyways, I'm kind of losing. I lost my train of thought for a moment. Why is that? Okay. So I want to get back to a place where I'm really doing what I enjoy. Because I find with Amazon, and I'm sure this more in a future podcast, that I really love Amazon, but I don't think I love Amazon year round. I love going to garage sales. I love picking up vintage gear. I love finding that thing for $5 that I can flip for $100. I'm finding Amazon right now like it's labor, and I'm not enjoying it as much. So that's why I want to get to these 2,000 listings.
I like it.
And then I want to organize for taxes again. I really need to get that. I know I said that last time. Taxes. I did zero, and I know I'm avoiding, but I need to get it done. And so I'm hoping by the next update episode, I'll come back to you and say, hey, Mike, it's all done. My tax person's, all over it. And I'm going to be good. Yeah.
And if you haven't listened to our tax episode with Not Your Dad's CPA, check it out. I think it's episode 111.
Yep.
112.
111.
112? Was it 112? 111.
111. Because 112 was our theme episode.
That's right. So
returns.
Check it out. Episode 111. It's just scroll down a little bit. I'm sure you'll find it. It's there. And it was good. So taxes is one of those things. Taxes are something no one's excited about. But if you do it right, like it could actually work in your favor. So you can't change it. So
well, we talked about taxes. We talked about returns. And down the road, we may be talking about another adulting thing that you have to do with reselling. But we're still working on that. So we can't talk about that yet. But hopefully.
Life insurance.
Well, kind of like life insurance. But it's anyways, keeping your business protected. But we're still trying to finalize that. So anyways, hey, I'm really looking forward to things that are coming up. By the way, we're working, I haven't shared this with we've talked about it, but hey, meetup again in March sometime around there. People on social media have already been asking. We really want to make it happen. We want to see you all. I'm expecting a decent crowd and, seeing a lot of new faces that we didn't get to see before. So that's going to be fun too. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
But that's a little bit of ways away from now, but just wanted to drop that out there. But hey, hope you have a great trip. I hope I get the work done that I want to get done. And I hope all of you have an incredible week until our next episode. With that being said, make sure to be real,
be relevant,
and be reselling. Peace.